Mallory on the Move by Laurie Friedman. Packing. My room is filled with boxes. Yesterday it was filled with stuffed animals and books and posters. Today it is filled with boxes that are filled with stuffed animals and books and posters. I'm supposed to be filling more boxes with my stuff, but I don't get it. If I don't want to move, how come I'm stuck packing? What I need is a helper. I yell from the top of the stairs, "Mom!" I wait for an answer, but I don't get one, so I use my outdoor voice. "Mom!" She comes to the bottom of the stairs with an armload of boxes. "Hey, Mom, what's big and brown and empty?" "Mallory, I don't have time for jokes," Mom says. "We have to pack. We're moving in 2 days." "I know, but what's big and brown and empty?" Mom blows a piece of hair out of her mouth. "What?" "The box is in my room." I laugh out loud. "Mallory, that's about as funny as an overflowing toilet." I happen to think an overflowing toilet is hilarious. But I can see Mom doesn't. "Please go pack," she says. But I don't want to move to Fern Falls. I whimper like a sad, cold puppy left outside in the rain. Mom looks at me like she can't decide what to do. Then she puts her boxes down and walks up the stairs. "Cheer up." She pats me on the head. "I'll help." I sit on the bed with my cat, Cheeseburger. We watch Mom take t-shirts and shorts from my drawers. She folds them neatly and puts them in a big box. When the box is full, she tapes it shut and writes Mallory's t-shirts and shorts on the outside with a fat purple marker. I think over the plan Mary Ann and I came up with. Operation Convince my mom that moving and leaving behind my best friend is a bad idea. Mom starts folding a pile of blue jeans. I pull a clipboard and a pencil out of the drawer in my night table. "Mom, I have something I need to discuss with you." She stopped folding. I cross my toes. I hope this works. Mary Ann and I have been planning this summer for a long time. We have a very busy schedule. I read from my clipboard. Mondays, paint toenails and cat claws. Tuesdays, bake cookies and cat treats. I smile at Mom. I don't tell her we'll need her help with the oven on Tuesdays. Wednesdays, work on our summer scrapbook. Thursdays, go swimming. I remember what Mary Ann told me. Just read the list. I don't mention to Mom that before we go swimming, we need to go bathing suit shopping. Mary Ann said the best time to mention the bathing suit thing is on the way to the swimming pool. Fridays, sleepover at Mary Ann's house. Saturdays, sleepover at my house. Sundays, watch movies in our pajamas all day. I look up from my clipboard. Mom looks like she swallowed an olive. I can't tell if that's a good sign or a bad sign. As you can see from this very busy schedule, I don't have time to move this summer. I shrug my shoulders. "Sorry, maybe we can talk again in the fall." "Mallory," Mom starts to say something, but I don't let her get too far. I can see the plan isn't working like Mary Ann and I thought it would. I switch to plan B. "Mom, have you thought this through?" I try to stay calm, but my voice sounds like it's starting to get upset. "What about your students?" "There are plenty of good piano teachers in town." Mom folds a pair of jeans across her lap. "Please," I get down on my hands and knees. "Please, please, 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 can we please not move?" Mom puts the jeans in a box. "Mallory, how many times do we have to go over this?" My brother Max comes in my room and sits down on my dresser. Somewhere between 100 and 1,000 is my guess, he says. She's kind of thick for a kid her age, if you know what I mean. Max thinks he's so smart just because he's 10. I get up off the floor and try pulling him by his feet to get him off my dresser. Mom, I moan, do something. But she can't. Her head is inside a box. Max tosses a baseball in the air and catches it without looking. It's simple, he says. We're moving because Dad is opening a new store in Fern Falls. Simple for you, I say. You don't care where you live. All you care about is baseball. You'll find a new team. It's a lot harder to find a new best friend. You're lucky, says Max. You won't have to be best friends with Bird Brain anymore. I know Max is talking about Mary Ann. We've lived next door to each other since we were born, and we do everything together. We go to the same school. We chew the same kind of gum. We even paint our toenails the same color. I cross my arms across my chest. Mary Ann has been my best friend forever, and I want to keep it that way. You might miss Mary Ann, says Max, but I sure won't. Mom takes her head out of the box. Max, please go get more tape. I'm not moving to Fern Falls, I tell her when Max is gone. I sit down on the box Mom is packing. You and Dad and Max can go. I'll stay here and live with Mary Ann. She said her mom would be glad to have the company since it's just the two of them now. Mom sits down on the box next to me. I know you don't want to leave Mary Ann, and I know she's had a hard time since her parents' divorce, but you'll make new friends, and so will she. Mom picks up my hand and squeezes it. Don't forget, Mary Ann can come visit. Fern Falls is only 3 hours away. Max comes back in my room and tosses the tape to Mom. No visits, please. I've been waiting my entire life to get away from Bird Brain. My wish is finally coming true. Don't ruin it now. Max, that's enough. Mom puts her arm around me and pulls me towards her. Why don't you tell me your joke about the laughing cow? Maybe some other time, I tell her. It's a funny joke, but moving is no laughing matter. Blue without you. Rise and shine, sweet potato. I feel someone sit down on my bed. I don't have to open my eyes to know it's Mom. She's the only one who calls me sweet potato. Knock, knock. I mumble. Who's there? She says. Leaf. Leaf who? Leave me alone. I want to sleep, I groan. 5 more minutes? We have to finish packing, Mom says. I roll over and pull the covers over my face, but Mom sticks her head under so she can see me. Did you forget what's happening today? My party. Mary Ann is giving a goodbye party for me. Lots of kids are coming. She told them all to bring presents. I hop out of bed. Now I'm ready to pack. Mom hands me a list, and we start filling boxes. Sweaters, socks, underwear. I check things off the list as we go. Snow boots, scrapbooks, bead collection. My room looks more like a warehouse than a bedroom. When the phone rings, I run down the hall. I'll get it, I yell over my shoulder. Anything is better than packing. Hello? I say. Hey, 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 says a familiar voice. Can you come over now? It's almost time for the party. I'll be right over. I race back to my room. Mom, can I go to Mary Ann's now? Please, please, please? Mom smiles and tells me to have fun, fun, fun. I walk next door with a cheeseburger and knock on Mary Ann's window. She opens it, just a crack. Password, please. I whisper through the crack. Mary Ann flings open her window, and Cheeseburger and I climb inside. She gives me a big hug, and Cheeseburger a little hug. I'm so sad today. It's your last day. Mary Ann and I have always said things 3 times. It was Mary Ann's idea. She says it shows we've got style. Mary Ann puts her box of polishes on the floor. Want to paint our toenails for the party? Purple? I say. Purple is our favorite color. Not today. Mary Ann picks out a bottle of baby blue polish. Today is blue day. While we're painting, Max sticks his head in the window. Hey, Bird Brain, don't even think about planning any visits. If I make any visits, it won't be to see you. Mary Ann gets up and shuts her window. Ready for the party, she says. She must be kidding. She knows I can't wait. Mary Ann puts her hands over my eyes. Okay, no peeking. She walks me down the hall. I can't see a thing. When she moves her hands, I rub my eyes. Everything in her living room is blue. There are blue streamers and blue balloons hanging from the ceiling. There's a blue tablecloth on the table, and blue plates and cups and napkins. Even the food is blue. Little bowls of blue Jell-O and blue M&Ms and blue jelly beans on the pizza. There's a big sign hanging over the fireplace. We'll be blue without you. Wow, I say. It's hard to feel blue when I'm with you, but I do feel blue. I know tomorrow I won't be with Mary Ann anymore. Mary Ann's mom tells Mary Ann and me to get together. We put our arms around each other and she snaps our picture. We'll send you one for the scrapbook, she says. The doorbell rings and Mary Ann opens the door. The guests begin to arrive. They all have on blue t-shirts. We eat pizza. Then Mary Ann says, does anyone have anything for Mallory? Becca Birdwell gives me an address book. So you won't forget us when you move. She writes her address in the book and passes it around the room. Claudia Thompson gives me a cat of the month calendar. Everybody knows I love cats. Emily and Ellen Edwards gives me a candle that looks like a cheeseburger. There are layers of lettuce and pickles and tomatoes. There's even a meat in a bun layer. It looks so real I could eat it. Open minds, says Stephanie Sanders. She gives me a joke book. I flip through the pages and stop at the section with cat jokes. I pick up cheeseburger and cover her ears. What do you call a mad cat? No one knows. A Krabby Tabby. Everyone laughs. I read another one. What do you call a fat cat? I pause. A Flabby Tabby. Funny, 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 says Mary Ann. Then she hands me another box. It's wrapped in purple paper with a purple bow. From me, she says. I tear the paper off slowly. I lift the lid off the small box. Inside are 2 bottles of light purple glitter polish. I read the card. Roses are red and violets are blue. One is for me and one is for you. Mary Ann takes one of the bottles of polish out of the box and stuffs it in her pocket. No matter where we live, our toes will always match. I hug Mary Ann and promise never to wear anything else. When Mom comes to get me, Mary Ann's mom asks about the family that bought our house. They have a son who's 8, Mom tells her. Perfect, says Mary Ann's mom. There would be somebody on the street for Mary Ann to play with. Mary Ann leans over and grabs her stomach. Me? Play with a boy? I'm going to be sick, sick, sick. Everyone laughs except Mary Ann's mom. I'm sure he's nice, she says. Time to say goodbye, my mom says. Now I'm the one who feels sick, and I don't think it's from the M&Ms or the jelly beans or the pizza. I hug everybody, but I save Mary Ann for last. When I hug her, she raises her pinky on her right hand. Let's pinky swear. I hook my pinky around hers. I pinky swear I won't be friends with the boy next door, says Mary Ann. Since I won't live here anymore, it doesn't make sense for me to pinky swear that, but I have to pinky something. I pinky swear I'll never be friends with any boy next door. Then we squeeze our pinkies together and it's official. I sure am going to miss Marianne. Wish Pond Road. I press a button on the side of my watch, and the face lights up. It's only 8:30 in the morning, and we've been driving for 2 hours. I feel sick. The problem is I don't know if I'm car sick or moving sick. I clutch my stomach and lean over the front seat. How much longer, I moan. An hour, says Dad. Quiet, grumbles Max. He stretches and puts his feet on my side of the seat. I'm trying to sleep. I hold my nose and push Max's stinky feet back to his side of the car. I don't see how Max can even think about sleeping on a day like today. We're moving and my brain is filled with questions. I tap Dad on the shoulder. Tell me why our street is named Wish Pond Road. Dad smiles at me in the rearview mirror. Do you want to hear the legend of the Wish Pond Road? Dad already told me this story, but I'm having a hard time deciding if I think it's true. I shrug. I don't want Dad to get the wrong idea and think I'm excited about moving to a street named Wish Pond Road. I do want to hear the story again. Dad clears his throat. Legend has it that many years ago, a farmer and his wife lived on a large and beautiful farm right where our street is now. What did they have on their farm, I ask. Good question, says Dad. They had just about everything a farmer and a wife could want. They had cows and pigs and chickens and goats. They had corn and barley and wheat and hay. The only thing they didn't have that they wanted were children. How sad, says Mom. Yes, Dad says. This made the farmer and his wife very sad indeed. Sometimes while the farmer was out tending to the cows and pigs and chickens and goats, the farmer's wife would go sit by herself on the edge of a small pond in the middle of the farm. One day she picked up a rock and threw it into the pond and made a wish. I wish I had a little boy or a little girl to sit next to me by this pond. And to her amazement, her wish came true. The farmer's wife was blessed with a baby boy. Max stretches across the back seat. Lucky for her, she got a boy. I roll my eyes at Max. I bet once he was old enough to talk, she wished she could turn him into a girl. Quiet, you two, and let me finish the story, says Dad. The farmer's wife thought it was possible that her good fortune had come from throwing the rock into the pond, continues Dad. So she threw another rock into the pond, and again wished for a child. This time, she and the farmer were blessed with a beautiful baby girl. I grin at Max. Dad keeps talking. Now certain that the pond had magical powers, the farmer's wife decided to make one more wish. She threw another rock into the pond, and this time, as was her wish, she was blessed with twins. Boys or girls, I asked Dad. I don't really know, says Dad, and I don't think it matters. The story is that the farmer and his wife and their children lived long and happy lives on the farm. That was a long time ago, continues Dad. Now the farm is gone, but the pond is still there. And those who know it believe it was a wish pond and that anyone who lives on this street can make 3 wishes and they'll come true. Dad stops his story. I sit quietly for a few minutes. There's something I want to ask him since the first time I heard this story. Dad, how do you know the wish pond works? He smiles at me in the mirror. I don't know if it works. We'll have to try it and see. But I think the question you have to ask yourself is if you believe in magic. Cheeseburger stretches across my lap. I hope the wish pond works. There's a lot of things I've been wishing for lately, like having someone to play with on our new street. I rub Cheeseburger's back. Hey Dad, do any kids live on Wish Pond Road? I saw some kids outside playing when I went to check on the house last week. I cross my fingers. Did you see any 8-year-old girls who looked like they didn't have a best friend? Max sits up. Did any of them have wings and feathers and a head the size of a peanut? If so, they'd make a perfect friend for Mallory. I glare at Max. The first thing I'm going to do when we get to Wish Pond Road is throw a rock in the wish pond and wish for a different brother. Max takes a donut out of a bag. He shoves it in his mouth and gets crumbs all over his shirt. You actually believe in magic? I look at the mess he's made. So? Max shoves in another donut. So you would. Now there's crumbs all over the back seat. What's that supposed to mean? Max looks at me like he can't believe I don't know what he's talking about. It means you're always doing dumb things, and believing in a magic wish pond is just another dumb thing. Max, be nice. Mom gives him a close your mouth look. But Max ignores it. It's true, he says. Remember when she tried to fly and the whole neighborhood saw her do it? I'll never forget the day Mary Ann and I tried to fly. We taped garbage bags to our arms and skated down the hill. Our plan was for the garbage bags to fill with air and lift us up off the ground when we flapped our arms. Only too bad for us, the plan didn't work like we thought it would. Big deal, I say to Max. I bet a lot of kids wish they could fly like birds. Yeah. Max pops another donut in his mouth. But most kids know the difference between birds and humans. I pick powdered sugar crumbs off my side of the seat. I bet most birds are neater eaters than my brother. I lean over the seat and shake Mom's shoulder. Hey, Mom. What's sitting in the back seat and looks like it's got lost in a snowstorm? What? Mom turns around. Max, messy Max. I laugh so hard my face hurts. Mom tells Max to wipe his mouth and brush the powdered sugar off his shirt. Don't worry about me, says Max. Just look at the back seat, I say. But Max looks right at me. You messed up things in our old neighborhood. Try not to do it in the new neighborhood, too. I'm not going to mess up anything, I shout. That's enough, says Dad. He turns the car onto a small street. A sign says, Wish Pond Road. Neat rows of 2-story white houses with green shutters and black front doors line both sides of the street. Dad pulls the car into a driveway of a 2-story white house with green shutters and a black front door. We're here, he says. Number 17 Wish Pond Road. I get out of the car and look at my new house. It looks like all the other houses on the street. I think about the farmer's wife and the pond and how her wishes came true. Then I close my eyes and make a wish. I wish I didn't have to move into a white house with green shutters and a black door on a street called Wish Pond Road. I hope my wish comes true. But if it doesn't, I hope I don't get confused and go into the wrong house. To be continued.